Hi, hello, it's me. I'm back again. With the Owen and Avid video, as previously mentioned. And this is just a fair warning. I don't know how long this is going to be, but it's either going to be way longer or way shorter. I would guess longer because I have notes, and they're not on sticky notes. They're on a Google Doc, which I am reading. So when you see my hand go down, I'm scrolling on my Google Doc, which is slightly out of view. So tee-hee-hee behind the curtain. Anyways, so in other news, I also have new markers. So that's fun. Sorry, I wanted to scare people by stabbing something. I have been successful, hopefully. This is my sword. It's very fun. But yeah, so the Owen and Avid video, the reason I say long probably is because I have 500 words written down on my computer. Not all of them were mine. I'm gonna read some people. I'm gonna read a comment that's really long. Not super long, but like kind of long. But like, it might be a minute. Like, fair warning, just heads up. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a normal amount of time. But without further ado, because it's gonna be a minute, this is probably gonna be long. The Owen and Avid video. I remember thinking, man, you know, like, there's not gonna be that much content. 500 words, as per mentioned earlier. But yeah, so let's just get on with it. Let's get started. So in episodes 1 and 2, just for nifty context, Owen is provoking Avid like a lot of teasing. But by episode 3, the table, how the tables have turned. Avid is provoking Owen at this point. And I want to call attention to something that specifically happened, I believe, at the beginning of the episode 3. Also, spoilers for up to episode 3. I think you guys know that by now, though. Anyways, so something that happens is, you know, Avid's doing his whole weird shack of suspicious, make people angry business. And he talks to Owen about it. Then Owen goes and talks to other people about it. I don't remember exactly who it was. You can fight about it in the comments if you want to. It's not particularly relevant. But something that happens is Avid says, not direct quotes, but effectively, "What did Owen tell you?" Like, or "What did Owen tell you this time?" And it was the way that he said it, I've sort of picked up like eye roll energy. It was really interesting. It was sort of like your annoying brother or your your sibling energy. And I thought that was interesting because at this point, Avid doesn't know for sure that Owen is a vampire, but it's really interesting to see that he's sort of like, whatever, man, like, suck it, and has sort of, you know, whatever. I really thought that was interesting because if Owen hadn't have been a vampire, like, obviously that's an alternate timeline shenanigan, like, they could have settled into like a I hate you, but like not that bad kind of dynamic, you know, that one people have sometimes. Yeah, just thought I would comment on that before I get into the meat of other stuff. But I thought that was interesting because it kind of like, they were sort of getting along in the fighty get along way at the beginning, I think, at least in my opinion. Yell at me in the comments if you have other opinions, or don't yell at me, maybe agree with me, that would be cool. Anyways, so let's get to the meat of it. I should probably shoot black. Anyways, the crux of this argument is that Owen and Avid are two sides of the same coin. And I don't know if you guys have particularly heard the phrase, we're not so different, you and I. That is something that would be really funny if it actually gets said in the story. But I don't know if they'll ever address it because of the way that it is. I think both of them are in denial about it because they're so similar. The parallels are crazy. But anyways, so Owen lost Lewis and swore revenge on humans. Lewis is the town mayor that is Owen's like one friend. Cough, cough, cough. Maybe liked him. Gay vampire, yay, fun times. Anyways, so there's that, and then there's Avid, who lost his partner / sister / wife. I think it's sister. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's some weird shenanigans going on. I'll just say partner. Lost partner, which I believe goes unnamed, but it is based on the animatic, looks like a she. Yeah, so swore revenge on the vampires. So both of them are doing vengeance. They're like, vengeance for me, but because of the person that they care about, like, dying, or, you know. Avid's is a little more complicated. For those who are unaware, essentially, partner or whatever person came back from like a fight or whatever, and oh no, vampire now, and then Avid killed her in self-defense because she tried to kill him. But we'll get into that later. Avid is afraid to admit that vampires might be good because then he might not have had to kill his partner. Let that sink in a little bit. Oh, it's so good. So he's, the denial is fueled by something. But also, you know, Avid. But yeah, so he's already feeling guilty. And if he does end up changing his mind, he has to come to terms with the fact that his partner might not have had to die. And that would be so fun to watch. But yeah. Guilt. Oh, the guilt. The guilt is insane. Oh. And then Owen killed like everyone. Not just the people responsible or the bystanders. Like everyone. Innocent, no mercy. He also seems to be refusing to concede his position that humans suck. Because if that's the case, he's responsible for the massacre of innocent people. Which, I don't know how much that would actually matter. Because Owen hasn't really shown any, like, guilt or remorse over these people. Probably because he didn't really know any of them that well. They killed the person he liked. At least not yet. But it is interesting to know that Owen knew the exact number, 2,799 people that he killed. And that does not happen by accident. That is not something that you just whip out on people because you were like, well, I guess I know. No. I ain't having none of that. There's gotta be something going on there. But he is, in this specific instance, right now, Owen is a lot more level-headed and chooses to determine the innocence of the town folk and offers the mercy at the end of episode 3. And so it's interesting to see that he's purposefully singling out a handful of people and be like, you guys are chill and don't deserve my wrath. But what happened to your kill all the humans thing? Like, and then it makes you wonder, maybe that was a little disproportionate to how he actually feels, because he's not acting like that all the time. With certain people, it's like, yeah, whatever. Owen, I don't think you want to kill everybody. You literally have said you don't. And there's also the line of like, it's this or people, Doc, at the end of the episode. Oh, Owen's one-liners are good stuff. But yeah, I have a quick thing that I while I was writing this, I thought of this, and now I have to add it because it wouldn't be a real video without a tangent. I had a moment, second side tangent, which I didn't write down. Did anyone else notice? I didn't notice. I got it from a comment that "Oh cursed" sounds like "Oh cursed," the town. Oh, it's cursed. It's a little cheesy. It's hilarious. In my whole video, this is really funny. Very, very D&D. DM, like, well, I'll just kind of name it whatever it is, actually, in just a different language or slightly differently. Okay. But the original tangent, that wasn't the one that came up immediately because I thought of it. Oakhurst is very flammable. I don't think burning down the town is a Chekhov's gun that will not go unused. But there's like a significant portion of the series left, so I don't see it happening yet. But like, we have members of the Life series. We love Arson in this household, okay? Just a little bit of light arson, okay? So somebody's gonna do it. And so my question is it gonna be Owen or not? And is Owen gonna watch another town burn? I don't know. I think that could be fun. I'm excited for when the town burns, because like, they're not gonna not burn down the town. Everyone made their houses out of wood. Come on. This is just where my brain goes, okay guys? Too many people had fire abilities, and I was like, but what if they burn down the town on purpose? But yeah, so that's fun. Back to more Owen and Avid shenanigans. Another thing to bring up is that turning people without their consent could be seen as like a betrayal of Lewis, the mayor guy, at least in Owen's eyes, potentially. Either way, Owen is much more picky about turning people than anyone else. Because it's a lot bigger of a deal for Owen to turn someone, because he doesn't, it's not for everyone. He is going a little bit of a, well, it could be pretty sweet sometimes, but it's always, is this something you want? I will give it to you, but never involuntarily. And I think that's like really fun, because he's really the only one who's doing that. Oh, like Owen and Avid are like so convinced that the other one is evil. and there's there's some good stuff here. And I just, bear with me for a moment. I'm going to straight up quote Wondering Daydreamer's comment, not all of it, but it's too good for me not to read it because it's spot on and beautiful. So, sorry for jump scaring you, wondering. I'm sharing your presentation with the class in front of everyone. This is quotes. Avid is the embodiment of that humanity that Owen hates. The people who jump to conclusions and attack anything potentially dangerous to save their own skin. And then, then there's the second half of this. Owen is the embodiment of what Avid fears. And while yes, Avid is much more scared of Scott, it's because Scott is the easier one to spot as dangerous. Owen is the one that Avid has been yelling about, the one that hides in plain sight and jumps at you at night in the forest. The one that who would wipe out a town if need be. Scott obviously could, but doesn't really have the motivation for it. Avid could see Scott, but could only feel Owen's danger. And that probably made his hair stand like way more. And they kind of wrap this section up by saying they basically just push each other deeper into insanity and rage. End quotes or whatever. Beautiful. No notes. Actually, that's not true. I still have notes left. I love that. Specifically the part that's like Scott being like visible and Owen just sort of being like a feeling that he has. And I'm just like, yes! Like when you read those comments and you're like, yes! What you just put my brain thoughts that were scrambled into the correct words. Thank you. Which you guys have been doing. Thanks so much. It's great. It's fabulous. I love this hive mind of people who definitely don't have a problem for sure. Yeah, anyway, so continuing on. The protagonist energy they're giving off is insane. Like these two are like super depressed and sad, but like both of them are sort of ostracized and no one really gets them, and they just like have lost people they care about, and they refuse to blame themselves. They're like, it's not my fault. And they won't do it. Neither of them will blame anyone but me. It's not my fault. Like Avid blames himself like a little bit, but he's choosing to blame vampires more. Owen, I don't think, blames himself at all, and is choosing to put all of it onto humans. I didn't think that there was going to be this much content, guys. Legitimately. But yeah, so there are two ways this goes. There are two flavors, depending on where your bias falls. Either Avid is a scorned and frightened hero fighting his dark reflection, or Owen's the imperfect mess that just wants to belong, and he's against someone who wants him dead because of who he is at a fundamental level. And all that aside, neither of them has had enough time to properly grieve. Everyone needs a hug here so badly. But yeah. This is what I've been doing for the last hot minute. In other words, in other fabulous news, 2 more days.